So let's stop the music for a moment and get into our topic of the day. It's open mic. If anybody has anything to say, please come and say it. Come and say it. Come and educate you and I. As you know, our purpose is education and learning and education. So come and say it, come and educate you and I. So, very, very, very sad stuff happening. I'm going to start in English, continue in French, and end in KinyaRwanda. And I am commenting about Rwandan barbarism. Ah, yeah, we have to expose it if we are going to resolve it, my people. If we don't expose it, how are we ever going to resolve it? So let's go and visit this Rwandan barbarism that I'm talking about. Ooh, and then talk about it. It's happening in Europe. It's happening in Europe where a Rwandan man allegedly um, killed his own wife and then went and delivered himself to the police, you know. So I'm denouncing Rwandan barbarism because, as you know, not long ago, not long ago, who did we talk about? Remember when we talked about Rudakubana? You know, remember when we talk about Rudakubana, the young the young guy in the UK who killed, you know, who killed somebody, who killed 3 little children. Remember that? Remember that? Hmm? Remember that? Axel Rudakwanwa, Rwandan barbarism in the UK, killing those 3 little girls. People remember that? And now today, new Rwandan barbarism, this time in Belgium. You know, so this stuff is happening in Europe. Even the other kid who killed children, well, he's not a kid because he was turning 18, you know, and there's no age. And actually this week I did a show, Solidarité Congo, where they were reading the mapping report and they were talking about how the Kagamistan be using children. So Rudakuwana makes sense. And now this older guy killed his own wife. So let's talk about it. Let's denounce it, because if we do not denounce it, it's not going to end, my people. It's not going to end. All right. Thank you for being here. Today we are live. It's Saturday on October 4th, 2025. And I guess we will be rebroadcasting each show in its own language separately tomorrow or next week. So we're starting in English. There will be a French section and a KinyaRwanda section. Welcome to the show, my people. So, my people, new tragedy, grave, grave tragedy. So, allegedly, this guy had already been married before, and then for whatever reason, he had separated or divorced from his first wife, and then after that, he apparently went to the Kagamistan in Rwanda to seduce a brand new wife, a young girl, who he brought to Belgium, who he brought to Europe, and had children with. And then, for whatever reason, he was an older guy, apparently. There are allegations that something happened. Maybe somebody was trying to steal his very young wife from him. And then they were gonna divorce, or she was trying to leave him or something like that. Whatever the reason, there's never any reason to take somebody's life. You are not the creator. And even if you're married to somebody, if it doesn't work out, just leave and leave them alone. And there could be another person for you out there. You have absolutely no right, no authority to take anybody's life for any reason. So then this guy allegedly then killed his own very young wife, and then he actually asked somebody to even drive him to the police. So like, he was very conscious of what he was doing, and then he asked somebody to drive him to the police so that he can denounce himself. And then apparently it's even when he arrives at the police station that he tells his friend who's driving him to the police station that please look after my kids. Can you imagine? Just madness, barbarism. So he didn't even tell the friend who was driving him to the pole what had happened. The friend found himself like, what? What do you mean look after my kids? My people. So yeah, I don't know what you think about that, but to me, I'm calling it Rwandan barbarism, because this kind of barbarism and madness has been happening in the Rwandan community. Some people came to say, oh, it's not Rwandan barbarism, this and that. But I'm like, no, we need to study the Rwandans, because so far there has been the Rudakobana guy who has killed children in the UK. And then there's another Rwandan guy who actually burned down a church in France. And then there's another young Rwandan guy who killed his own father in France, And then, of course, the gravest thing happening out here by Rwandan barbarism is the Genocost in Congo, the genocide that the Kagamistan in Rwanda is committing in Congo while pausing as civilization. Even this week, people were talking about how they do sports washing activities. Somebody was denouncing the sports washing activities by the Kagamistan in Rwanda, which has now decided to become a sponsor of the Clippers. Is it the Clippers in the US? So, my people, this is what I mean when I say that we have to be boycotting, disguised as development, while Rwanda is killing and plundering our fellow Africans in Congo, and then while advertising themselves abroad, telling people to visit Rwanda, visit barbarism. So they're paying a lot of money to advertise themselves as civilized, So, but no, it's a lie. Rwanda is at war in Congo, killing and plundering, and then even women getting raped, abused. No respect for human life, no respect at all. So I don't know if this is in somehow related to how some of these Rwandans have exported their barbarism all the way to Europe, as we have seen the case of Rudakubana, and then those guys in France, and then now this a man who kills his own wife, leaving behind those two little children. Just tragic. So we need to talk about it. We need to denounce it. And then we, of course, need to talk about the solution. I, for one, suggest, new way of seeing life in my new book, A Philosophy of How to Live in Peace and Joy Despite Everything. My new book, Analyst, Know Thy Divine Rights. People get into their emotions so much. I think Rwandans are so emotional, like very emotional people, and they get into their emotions and then they react to things emotionally and then they commit horrible things based on their emotion. So if they learned about themselves and learned to control themselves and learned about the superior emotions, like superior in spirit, in energy, the emotion of peace and joy, instead of this emotion of victimization that leads them to commit crimes against other innocent people just because they feel like victims. So until we dare talk about it, denounce it, and then even propose solutions, this kind of barbarism is going to continue. So yeah, so let's move into French. Frère Symphorien Pombe, je vous vois. All right, let's move into French. It's a perfect time to be moving into French. Je vois. I see the brother Symphorien Pombe and he speaks French. So we're going to move into French. All right, my people. So thank you for being here. Like, share, subscribe, and all that stuff. I don't even ever remember to say that stuff, but there's a thing rolling telling you to do that stuff. So you want to support us, support us. So whew, Rwandan barbarism. It has to be talked about. It has to be denounced in order to heal and end. All right, my people, let's move into French. Alors, merci d'être là, la famille. Cher frère Symphorien Pombe, c'est grave, hein? C'est grave. Je vous parle alors de la barbarie des Rwandais. Là, c'est arrivé en Belgique.